Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Oh Mama, Are We Doing This Right? Today, Brittany and I are talking to our friend Chessney, who is a newly pregnant mama. We're so excited to hear what she has to say.
You just got married. How old are you and what do you do for a living?
I actually had to think about it and I almost just said I'm 25. Like that, those words almost just came out of my mouth. 28. I
I thought it was gonna be like 26.
Nope. 28. Work in tech sales, but on the wedding industry side of things. It's always just a funny combination of words. But yeah.
Chessney, how do you know Britt? How did you two meet?
It was from just hair stuff, but it was immediate connection right away. I think we just got to talking. We saw we had the same vibe, on the same wavelength. So much so, Britt, do you remember me? I mean, obviously you remember, but I think within the first 2 months of knowing each other, I had some issues with this New York trip, or someone flaked out on me. And I was like, hey, do you just want to go with me? She was just doing my hair and she was like, yeah, let's go. We did not know each other well at all, but and so I feel like it just kind of blossomed from there. So it was good.
It was fun. It was a super short trip. We were only there for a couple of days. We went to go to the Governor's Ball, which is a concert, and then that got canceled.
We were supposed to go. I forgot about that.
And that got canceled, and then the rest is history. But yeah, we've attended now a few concerts together.
And now you're pregnant together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which brings me to our topic for today. Chessney, we want to know how you feel. We want to know if people have kind of been putting pregnancy projections on you. So maybe right whenever people started finding out that you were pregnant, did people start telling you all of a sudden, this is what happened to me, this is going to happen to you? Do you experience that? Have you had any of those experiences?
Totally. Yeah, it's been really interesting. I was even thinking about that the other day, and it's so funny. You're going to get morning sickness. This is what's going to happen to your body. You're going to be craving pizza and all this stuff, and pickles. And it just felt no one knows until you experience it. And the questions that you're even asked during it are so funny. What have you been craving? And that's such a small niche of what's really going on. I feel like no one gets to the down and dirty of everything. And they really speak to surface level things. Have y'all been experiencing that kind of stuff, or did you experience that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I first got pregnant, everyone had a lot of opinions, and they were like, oh my gosh, let me tell you what to expect. And I was like, okay. And it kind of freaked me out at first. And I was like, I'm going to have my own experience. And I thought so granola minded of my experience is going to be good. I'm going to experience it. However, I'm open to that. And then I ended up having, I've had pretty much every single symptom. So, which is not fun. So for me, I was annoyed by people projecting their pregnancy, opinions and expectations and whatever onto me. But now I'm like, well, shit, thank God I knew because, because I've had everything. But I also realized not everyone experiences pregnancy that way. And that can be really scary for people to just project their opinions and expectations and experiences and whatever it is onto other people. Yeah.
It's a fine line of feeling inadequate and also thankful that they're telling you, but then you're also experiencing something totally different. And you're like, is this normal? And then you go online to find resources, but then you're like, who do I trust? What is real? And it makes you question your own intuition. It's wild.
Don't Google.
Don't Google.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Don't have panic attacks for no reason. I do all the time.
Google's been.
How far along am I, Britt? I am 19 weeks and 1 day. So almost 20 weeks. So second trimester, a lot breezier. Yeah, like even like if we speak to like first trimester stuff, like morning sickness, which the word itself is just so stupid. Like if we really get down to it, like that, let's change that first. Like it is, and you know, I'm speaking to my own experience. Like I'm even guilty of it. Like mine was all day sickness.
Me too.
So, ugh, it's just
mine was all day sickness, and I heard this from a girlfriend the other day. She was like, "You're almost there. You only have a few weeks left." She goes, "Just so you know, I had like morning sickness, but all day sickness again in my third trimester," and I was thinking, "Oh no, that's not a thing." And then the last 3 days I've been feeling sick, and I'm like, "No, not again." So there's a possibility it could come back. Hopefully it doesn't for you.
Oh, and I think it's like so important of how like you do word things like that and like being aware. Like even her saying that, did you get more, like did it become mental, you know, like getting that in your head?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of things that you're experiencing now or not experiencing that maybe people did or didn't tell you. What are some things that you want to share that have been your personal experience of first trimester thus far to second trimester?
Yeah, I like have a whole list of these things that I've just been making like a mental, I mean like an actual, not even just a mental note, but an actual note of like the real nitty gritty that I want to share with people. And then like, also I'm speaking to my own experience, but I feel like it's those things that people don't always talk about, especially if you're a first time mom and you don't have any other friends that were pregnant. It was that morning sickness thing, you know, being like an all day sickness. Getting like really soft really quick, if that makes any sense. Like I was running on a treadmill like a few weeks after I found out I was pregnant and like noticed like flapping happening in like weird places. Like no one told me that like my arm was gonna start like flapping really quickly. Like it was bad. I was like, it was like a new feeling. And I'm so like body aware. Food, less about like what I'm craving and more like food aversions.
Yes, that is so big.
Yeah. And like hating stuff that I used to love. My nipples being like the most sore thing in the world, like, and no one's speaking to that. How horny I am all the time, like all the time. Did anyone else experience that?
Oh yeah, first trimester I was
first trimester, definitely.
Yeah, first trimester, super sappy, really emotional, like aggressively emotional, like a sobbing for no reason. And also just like I hated being pregnant. Like I felt so much shame in first trimester because I hated being pregnant. And people would be like, "Oh, are you so excited?" And I'm like, "No, I hate being pregnant. I feel horrible mentally, physically, emotionally. I feel like someone's hijacked my body. Who am I?"
It's so interesting. And like even that, like I didn't experience any of that stuff. And then I'm like, am I weird for not experiencing that? Like I feel like as pregnant women, like we want to compare like all of our symptoms to other people, when in reality we should just like normalize everyone having like their exact own experience. And then like talking about those things.
Yeah, completely agree.
I'm trying to think of other things. People say like the words pee like a pregnant woman. Like I need to go pee like a pregnant woman. But no one tells you that you get up like 7 times a night to go pee, I feel like, at all. And then Lindsey, I don't even know what that process looks like afterwards. Like everything that's going on down there. Like feel free to speak to that.
Yeah, everything seems to have gone back normal. I didn't really ever have any bladder issues though. Like I didn't have to go all the time, and I still bartended throughout my whole pregnancy. So I don't know if I was just really good at holding it because you don't really have that opportunity to go pee and then come back and serve people. So I didn't really have that experience, but I understand whenever I was in my 3rd trimester because he was right there and I felt as though I could pee on myself at any moment. So I kind of get it.
I've been feeling that way since end of 2nd trimester because he's so big that I have to get up probably like anywhere from like, I've gotten better about pacing my beverages earlier in the day and like less through the night. But when I wasn't prepared to have to pee 7 times a night, that's what was happening for me for like a whole month. And I was getting like so annoyed, like just having to get up and like tossing my body out of bed, like rolling my big old body out. And
because you can't just sit up. That's another thing. You can't just sit up. You have to like roll, like a whole move.
Did you guys start out as stomach sleepers?
I'm a side sleeper. I'm like a true and a back sleeper. I've never been a stomach sleeper.
Okay, so you're not having, because that was one thing that I noted. Everyone was like, oh, it's really uncomfortable to sleep. I still haven't gone back to sleeping on my stomach, and my son's 10 months old almost. So I long for the days where that gets to happen again, because sleeping is so uncomfortable. How are you experiencing any of that?
No. And that's another thing is like, that's what people have told me. Like, it's all these daunting things as well. It's like, good luck, like insomnia is gonna kick in, and I'm like, but when? Like it's like creeping up on me, and then it's like acid reflux and heartburn is coming, and I'm like, but when? Like, why doesn't anyone like? And then does it happen to everybody? Like,
no.
I just have no idea.
That all those things don't happen to everybody. I feel like my acid reflux didn't happen till like way later, like just recently, and that's because I found out our baby has a lot of hair, which is really weird. And then as far as like the sleeping stuff, I didn't get super uncomfortable until, and again, I'm really big. Not everyone gets really big for their body size, you know? So I think it depends on like what your body type is, how big is your baby, like does your, what are your genetics? Like all that stuff plays in so much into what your symptoms are going to be.
I have another question for y'all. Did you experience things like with your baby, like even in the womb, like sooner than you thought you would, or later than like what your doctor like told you would at all? And like, how did that even make you feel like from like a medical standpoint? If you want me to give an example, like mine was like, I felt my baby kick at like 16 weeks, and everything I read was like, you will not feel your baby kick until like you're 23 weeks, or something like that. And I remember even telling my doctor, and she's like, no, like you didn't really feel that, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel it like all the time. Like, and so I don't know, like, and then like really, really questioning like your own body. Did y'all experience anything like that?
I actually had the same but opposite experience as you. Everyone kept saying, oh, have you felt the baby? Have you felt the baby? I'm like, I don't feel anything. And then I found out that I have an anterior placenta, which is your placenta is on the outside part of your stomach versus the inside part. They were like, well, you probably won't feel your baby kick. So then I got in this mindset of like, oh, I'm not going to feel my baby kick. And I kept thinking I was feeling something. And I was like, oh no, it's just I have gas or something like that. And I think I was feeling him way earlier than I like recordedly in my mind and shared was actually feeling him. But I didn't start really aggressive. He now moves all day, all night, all the time,
yeah,
like aggressively. But yeah, that was like the one thing, because everyone's like, oh, it's the one thing to look forward to. It's such an amazing connection once you can feel the baby kick. And I was like, what am I feeling? The baby kick? I already am. I don't know. But yeah, that's like a major one, I think. Lindsay,
I think so too.
What was your experience?
I felt him. I don't know. I feel like now I need to get pregnant again so that I can remember. Yeah, you guys talking about it with 2 pregnant people. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to be pregnant again.